Hi, my name is Dr. S.엘리야 Stimson from Black Lotus Acupuncture, and I just wanted to share a quick story about how I met a very interesting acupuncturist a while back. Now, it's been a few months, and I did film this video once before, but I was feeling pretty sad in that moment, and I thought that it's definitely been some time, and so I could reshare how I'm feeling. I had had a rain when it pours kind of a moment. So I was looking for other jobs to supplement my income so that I could afford my rent in the meantime. And so I met an acupuncturist, and she was very rude to me. She was a Chinese woman, and she was very impressed with my resume because I've worked a lot of jobs over my time, if I do say so myself. I've had a lot of experience, and it shows on my resume. And so she was like, "Oh my gosh, you've worked at Black Lotus Acupuncture for over a year. Tell me about your experience." And I said, "Yes, this is my business." Her whole expression changed after that. She's like, "Oh, so you didn't work anywhere else after that?" And I said, "Well, I also worked at other practices, but that's my business." And she says, "Well, just a word of advice. If you're going to be working for other practices, you shouldn't be telling people that you work at your business in Brooklyn when you have a business in Brooklyn, because then they will see you as competition." And I thought, that's kind of strange. It's a little insecure, right? My practice is very different from your practice. And I visited the practice that she's at, and it had 12 working rooms that were moving at the same time. My practice is just one patient at a time, me and the patient. So the setup is just different. And I explained that to her, and she was just like, "No, because if the patient likes you, you think I'm going to tell them your name?" No. And I was like, okay, what is going on here? I thought it was really strange, but I just realized in that moment, maybe this person is feeling like frazzled, or they're insecure, or they're like overwhelmed. I don't know. Maybe I was just triggering people, because I do have a tendency to do that without realizing it. And she was a half hour late for our interview. And I feel like there is a saying, and my friends have said this to me as well, where when the tides rise, all boats float. And that means that we all can eat out here. Everybody can afford to have acupuncture. And what I mean by that is that everybody benefits from getting acupuncture. Everybody benefits from being treated. And so I should not be looked at as competition to you, and vice versa, when we can all help patients. So if that patient is better suited with me, or that patient is better suited with you as a practitioner, I'm happy for that patient, because that means while that money isn't going in my pocket, that the patient is getting the best care. And that's more important than me getting money. Do you know what I mean? And it's the intention behind that rather than, oh, I'm getting rich. It's just different. And I don't think that that practitioner really understood that, even though she had 15 years of experience over me. So that was a very strange experience. It was very passive aggressive. And she said things like, "You're not thinking like a businesswoman. You have lots of debt," which every person who goes to grad school does, duh. Unless you're wealthy and you're paying out of pocket, which some people do. I don't know. Some people don't. Some people just work through it and they just don't. Anyway, that's not the point. But she was like, "You should be working under somebody, not having your own business." And I said, "Why?" I wanted to have my own business. And so if I wanted to have my own business, I should have my own business, not work under somebody and be tormented for no reason. I don't think that's the case. But really what it came down to is that after 15 years, she's having the courage for the first time to actually go into business for herself. And I, in my first year post grad school, post-doctorate, had decided I'm going into business for myself. So I had more courage than her, and that was triggering. So the lesson of the story is that sometimes people don't see your vision, and you will be told to your face that you're dumb, that you're not good enough, that you don't know what you're doing, and it's not true, okay? And it's really important that in these moments that you still keep your head high, because if you listen to them and you take that stuff to heart, it will really darken your soul and heavy your heart with unnecessary anguish. You're wasting your time listening to people like that. That was all her issue. It had nothing to do with me at the end of the day. She was just having a bad day, and she decided that I needed to get that off, and she wanted to just talk to me because I was in front of her. It wasn't necessarily nice to hear, but in the moment, it was a good reminder that I actually am doing the right thing. And then a month later, I got another great job, and I'm fine. And now I'm moving on to better things, and I'm fine. And so I hope that woman is doing well. I mean no harm to her. And I'm not telling you who it is because none of you guys is business, and I don't want to cause any, issues. But sometimes people are insecure, and you just got to let them be insecure because they can't be insecure all over you. And you also should not be all insecure over other people. Own your shit. Own your shit. And I also will try my best to own my own shit because we're not perfect. And in moments like that, when you have moments of weakness, we have to just try to do better.